Well, here we are back, season 6, people. We got a great season lined up. I mean, season 5 was amazing. So many great guests, and already we have great guests lined up for season number 6. And I start off with a banger here. I have Olivia Rose, coming in from Portland. Is that true? No or no? Olympia, Washington.
Mhm.
That's right. Okay. I was thinking of the label. I think the label is a Portland label. Am I correct on
Well,
that, Olivia?
no, yeah, you are correct. Antiquated Future is Portland. But actually they started in Olympia at a house called the Alamingo, and technically my whole band lives in Portland. I am the single holdout in Olympia.
Okay.
So you got it. It's Olympia and Portland. So
Right
mhm.
on. And I mean, your music, I mean, I was just trying to describe it a little bit to Olivia before we hopped on here, but I mean, it's such a beautiful cross mix of dream poppy and indie, and there's some country tings, and there's also some screamo in there as well for the metals out there, the metalheads. And we're going to talk a little bit about her latest record that she just put out a week ago, a little EP she has called For Art. So check that out too. It's on Bandcamp and all of your platforms. Olivia, thanks so much for joining me for this first wonderful episode of season 6. I really appreciate you carving a bit of time. Now, I'm going to put a little caveat on this one. I reached out to Olivia. We're not supposed to, well, it's just me here, but I wasn't really going to start till September, but Olivia is expecting, and I just so wanted to talk about this record and make sure that she has some good things to listen to when she hits motherhood. So, Leah, thanks so much for this. I really appreciate you hopping on here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So, Olivia, let's get this conversation started with a little rewind in the history a bit. And I like asking artists kind of like where it all started to begin for them. Some of
Mhm.
those salient moments where it was like, yeah, that's where things started to happen or for my music. And do you
Mhm.
have some of those recollections that you could share with us?
Yeah, I think for me, so you had mentioned getting a little country
Yeah.
twang in some of there. So I grew up in Asheville, North Carolina. So I'm originally from the South. My family's from the South of the US. And when I was like 12 or 13, my friend, one of my best friend's mom, she was in a bunch of bands. So she was in like doo-wop bands, kind of some country bands, and she's the one that taught me how to play guitar. And she was just cool. She was a young mom, so probably in her 30s when we were all like 12, 13, and just I don't know, just cool. And her friends were cool, and then me and her daughter Zara, and a bunch of our friends, a group of girls, we were all learning how to play guitar, bass, drums, and we started a band called the Hissy Fits. And we had one song, so that we would play all, over and over and over again. Um, but yeah, it was just like cool. It was a cool community, and I think that that's what really and I discovered so much music through that. So it was like the Breeders, um I got Breeders, Kristen Hirsch. That
Mm-hmm.
was a really big
Throwing
influence.
muses and yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Throwing Muses, huge. Oh my God,
Yeah.
loved Throwing Muses. I don't know if you ever
Yeah.
heard of That Dog. That was a big
Yes.
influence.
Yes.
So it was all of these kind of like, all of these influences from kind of Gen X,
Mm.
like
Mm.
um yeah, there's this band DQE, and then we're like also listening, like driving her mom crazy, listening to like My Chemical Romance and like so.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of the origins of me as a songwriter musician. I'd always been
Right.
singing, but that was kind of the start, I would say, of like
And
of music.
was that a big interest of yours also, though, to write songs? Like you talked about
Yeah.
the influence of your friend's mom, and that they were
Mhm.
doing it, and like you kind of like I mean, I remember these same types of stories, just idolizing singers and songwriters and bands, just
Hmm.
like holier than thou, like untouchable. How did you find your way into saying, okay, I'm gonna try to write some songs? Like you were learning guitar, and like what were kind
Yeah.
of like your inspirations to start saying, yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot and see what happens.
So I'd always been writing songs
Hmm,
since I can remember. I remember and to this day, I will just start. A song will just come to my head. I can sing about anything that I'm doing
hmm,
at any
hmm,
given moment. And so, like, I used to wake up. I remember as a little kid, probably earliest memory I have a memory vividly of waking up and just having a song in my head and writing it in my journal. So it
hmm,
was always a cappella. And so I think that introducing the guitar kind of made it more like solidified it.
right, right,
And structure, we have verse, chorus, bridge.
right,
Um, but always, always writing songs, always writing little doodles,
right, right.
and always sang.
Huh. And like what brings those seeds into your mind? Like, do they tend to like be connected to experience you might have had, or a thought, or like where do you get your inspiration from when you're writing your songs?
Um, Probably a lot of the times it's from a thought or something someone has said that has felt very true
Mm,
in a moment.
mm,
I don't know if that's the best way I can describe it. A lot of the
mm,
times, um, or yeah, or an inside, almost like an inside joke, or not
mm,
even just something that resonates in a way that you. I think that that's the most exciting part about songwriting is that when you can kind of, and I would say storytelling, writing in general, when you can tie in
mm,
you're trying to translate something that's really impacts you personally,
right,
but then creating a thematic, almost like narrative, like something cohesive out of that. So little
right, right.
snippets of thought or what I hear, what someone says,
Mm,
something that
that's
inspires
cool.
that. Yeah.
And then the actual song, the verse, chorus, etc.,
Hmm.
is it you figuring out that one kind of thesis of the song, and then working through like the new things come out of the song as you're writing it, so it may be inspired by a
Yeah.
thought or a theme, and then everything just starts flooding out from experience and
Absolutely. Yeah, like
yeah.
uh, or like yeah, starting with like a mantra of words, maybe a chorus and
Mm,
repeating, and then how does this and all these other words. And the best part is when you're like, I don't even know what that is about, and then later
right,
it becomes clear.
right,
So
right.
definitely. Hmm.
And I'm going to give you an example of that because I love how you just described it. And so I listened to the song "The Call." Right, it came out in
Hmm.
2024. I think he released it as a single,
Hmm.
and then it appeared on Dorothy. I think that's the
Yeah.
timeline there.
Hmm.
I just felt that song, after I'd heard that you were pregnant, that the call changed its meaning for me a little bit, and that
Hmm.
it kind of started becoming a little bit of a baby song, or a sense that a growing family or something that was new was coming, and that I was ready. I'm not dreaming about it anymore. The call has come in, and I'm going for it. So like when you said that, I started to think about that song and what I knew about it based on what you had told me, and how this story started to unfold with it. Now, I have no idea if that's what you're writing about, but I think that it works nicely with the lyrics that you had put together, and
Hmm.
then kind of knowing a little bit about your experiences.
Hmm. Yeah, isn't that interesting how that's another thing where songs you can kind of just maybe that's something that I don't know. I think that it makes it feel more almost universal, or it can have different
Mm,
applications,
mhm,
um, uh, depending on context.
right.
I wrote that uh, when we got asked to go on tour in 2021. So it was during right still COVID. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
and we were touring with Future Islands, or asked to
Mm.
tour, and the tour was going to start in like 3 days because one of the bands that was supposed to open for them, their visas didn't get approved, and
Ooh.
so they had called us up,
Oh.
and it was just that deciding moment. I also
Right.
had really not been playing. I mean, since since COVID started, so there
Mm.
was a lot of kind of fear and uncertainty there, and I think
Mm.
that that was also a turning point for me to start saying yes in different ways.
Mm.
And
Mm.
similarly, I think that that's definitely what my experience has been like
Yeah,
entering into motherhood, and just like that yes, like yes, yes, yes,
totally,
okay, I'm gonna
totally.
take it. This is what life is telling me. Is This is what life is calling me to do in this moment,
Yeah,
and that's what I'm gonna do.
yeah. I love that too. I read that you and your bandmates, when you're touring, you always try to go and see whoever's family that you're closest to, or like
Mm-hmm.
family is a very important part of not only the band itself and its strength over all these years. I mean, you guys have been doing this since 2014, but that also you have this connection to family. Like family seems very important to the band itself, like
Mm-hmm.
the bigger family as well.
Yeah,
Can you talk to that a little bit?
yeah. I think I mean, we know. I know all my bandmates' family. So,
Mm.
I mean, Stevie. I was just on a pontoon boat with
Mm.
his parents and his sisters. One of them was in town from Texas with her husband, and we were just full like the fastest pontoon. I didn't know pontoon boats could go that fast, and it was a blast. But
Mm.
we all know each other's family. I mean, we have all become family. Also, our families are kind of spread out all throughout the US.
Okay.
So I think that that relationship, knowing each other's families, also continues to anchor
Mm.
us in as a family, as this kind
Yeah.
of found family. But then, yeah, and like some of our
Mm.
parents have met and our siblings, and it's just this really awesome. I don't know. Yeah, when I see their families or their parents, or I know I'm friends with their siblings,
Mm. Yeah.
and vice versa, and their siblings know my brother, and it's just this whole really cool world, you know.
Yeah. I love that. And I
Yeah.
mean, it does um help the band manage, I'm sure. I mean, I've spoken to many bands where, I mean, the first thing they say is if you guys aren't good together as a group, forget about music. Like you can pretend for so long, only so long until, the reality hits you in the face.
Right.
How, what do you think the longevity has been, or some of the recipes or tips and tricks that you could share about having a band that you feel this close to and that you've really evolved as a band over this last decade?
Yeah, I think just having genuine respect and care for
Mm.
one another as people, not
Hmm.
just as I mean, we bonded through music, the shared experience of being on the road. Very, it's hard.
Mm.
And we just genuinely enjoy each other's company.
Mm.
Um, and it's hard to describe it. I just feel so lucky to
Mm.
have these people in my life, and the community that it has given me is
Hmm.
quite amazing. And I think it's really palpable when people are around us.
Yeah.
Um, so
Okay. It's
yeah.
amazing. I love
Hmm.
that. And what are your biggest nervousnesses about bringing a life into the world, or flip it on its head? The biggest, I mean, the joys are pretty obvious, but like it's going to start battling with your music when you
Mm,
bring a new human in. Um, how are you starting to get your mindset around having to have you'll have this little person to care for 24/7 all the time? Where are you at with that? And it's kind of conflicting with your music, and how you think you're going to manage all that.
mm-hmm. Well, it's definitely going to make coordinating a little more difficult, I would say, and, or more of a challenge. And oh man, I don't know. I just so also the bassist in our Rose, Vin, he just had a baby in
Okay.
February. So, and I mean, we're playing show. He's making it. It's
Mm,
we're just gonna make it work. Here, the thing is I have been trying to get away from like the grind of touring
mm,
and doing
mm,
that for a while now. It has actually detracted from me as an artist
mm,
and making art,
mm,
because you get sucked up in promotion and album cycle or all of, and then touring and it's hard, and that
mhm,
is an okay thing for me to put a pause on right
mm.
now. that
Yeah.
has that's prior to baby. So
Mm, mm,
the 24/7, I mean, we'll just we'll just take it as it comes. I
yeah.
think I've built
Mm,
a really beautiful life
mhm,
to raise a child in. And I know it's going to be hard. And I think that I'm up for that.
mhm,
And speaking with Vin, a couple weeks ago, I was talking about these fears and like, gosh, this is going to be brutal. And he was saying to me, been a dad now for about 6 months, seven. He's like, honestly, Olivia, I think you're going to be really surprised at how equipped you
mm,
are for this and how
mm,
much being in a band and this really strange form of chaos that we have
mm,
chosen over the years,
mhm,
is actually going to come in handy,
mm.
for you in this role. And it
Yeah.
was really cool to hear that, because he's like, I
Yeah.
mean, we've lived in like a van, I mean, our first door was in a Subaru for 2 months, like
Right.
no sleep, insane people, and like, and it's gonna be different. But I think that also, hopefully, um, I can remember to find joy and meaning and curiosity in the
Mm,
experience, because I
yeah.
think that has been a core
Mm,
part of all of it. It's like, how do I translate this into meaning through my
mm,
music? How
mm,
do I get curious or interested or excited in what's happening to me at this moment in my life?
right.
And then maybe translate that to music. So
Mm,
yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Or maybe
yeah.
it's gonna really suck.
Well, I'm sure there are going to be moments where it sucks, but I know there's going to be far more moments that are joyful and happy. And
I'm excited.
I've done this 3 times. And, actually, it's funny.
There you
You're
go.
welcoming a child in, and my last child just left for college. So I have an empty house now. It goes so fast. So I'm saying in a
Yeah.
really good way.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I like what you said of cherishing and seeing how life unfolds in front of you with whatever
Right.
experiences you have
Don't
around you.
resist. I can't. I took the call. Like, I've made I did this. Nobody did this to me. Like,
Right, right.
well, I guess my husband, but whatever. We're doing it, so it's
That's cool.
good.
That's cool. And kind of thinking about the newborn coming in, I put it as a question of like, what what song from Oh Rose would be the first song that you think that your newborn would like connect to or like soothe them, or like what song of yours you want your baby to hear of yours?
I think, yeah. I mean, that question. It's so funny. I asked my husband this, and he's like, "Baby," and it's because I have a song from "While My Father Sleeps" called
Right.
"Baby," and I was like, "No, no, no, that's not gonna soothe this child." And I do think though that honestly, any of the songs from the EP from For
Mm,
Art, because I
yes.
recorded them and been playing them while he's been in my body, so
Right.
he's
Right. Right.
knows those songs, and I
Yeah.
love these songs. And I
Yeah.
think out of all of those, maybe a toast, because I think that that's kind of this, it just sums up the fear, the hopefulness of what is to come. And I think that
Mm,
it's really about just, it doesn't shy away from the fear of starting a family and doing
Mhm.
this and
Mhm.
choosing, um, making choices that have led to really ultimately birth in this next chapter. But I think just any song from the EP is going to be a little lullaby for him
Yeah,
now. I'm curious
totally.
to see if it soothes him, you know?
Well, I really love this EP. And I, before we hopped on, I was just talking about your catalog and the evolution I felt of it from this raw, grungy, like indie rocky to like these really heartfelt ballads, I just love the way that you guys weaved. And I mean, from like the record, 7, I mean, is it
Mhm.
that track too that's kind of your screaming track or one of your screaming
Oh
tracks?
yeah, Seven. Yeah, the song
Yeah,
Seven from Seven. Yeah. Hmm.
unbelievable. Like your range is just dramatically amazing. Um, and I've really, really appreciated that, this new EP. Um, Olivia, to kind of wrap things up, where are you leaving Oh Rose? Like as you embark on this new journey in life, where are you placing it on your bookshelf?
On my bookshelf. So, definitely taking maternity leave from playing live shows for,
Yep.
I'd say, I mean, baby's coming in September. I'd say at least 6 months, but also you never know. I say this
Okay.
all the time, and then someone's gonna probably ask me, and I'll do it. But I would say sticking close to home,
Hmm. Hmm.
unless something really, I say that I don't know. But O Rose is not. It's not stopping. It's not going anywhere. Basically, as long as I am writing and playing and recording music, O Rose will continue to
Right.
um, exist and evolve. So I
Right.
think I'm really excited to see what songs are going to come from this
Mm.
next chapter. I can't wait to write some songs inspired by my child, you know.
Totally. Yeah. I can't wait either.
Yeah.
They're going to be amazing. Amazing.
Thank
What
you.
inspiration. Well, I wish you all the best, Olivia, in September onward.
Yeah.
I'd love to touch base with you once the baby's here, just to see if you're doing all right. And
Yeah. 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 Reach out. And yeah, we can
totally.
get a little crying clip maybe to put
There
in
you
here.
go.
I'll be like, man, this is. I'll let you know. I'll be honest.
Cool. Cool. Well, and congrats on this new EP too. I'm glad that it came out before life takes a shifts in a different direction for a while. But
Yeah.
I think you left us with some really great tunes to enjoy while you become a mother and
Thank you.
become a parent. So all the best with that. And I'll, like I said, I'll keep in touch. And the next time Oh Rose comes out, we'll have you back and we'll talk about the record and the kid and how it's going. And
Yeah.
um,
Love it. Wait for those lullabies coming down the pike.
right on, right on. Well, thanks so much.
Thanks, Chris.